Hello Stampers, my name is Linda Bedinger and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Denver, Colorado. And this is my buddy Puccini, who keeps me company in the craft room. And we have a really fun card for you today. It is a fun fold, and I've not seen this one before. A friend brought it over, Sandy, my cohort in crime here, brought over and brought kind of a prototype to me, and since then I've made quite a few adjustments to it, but the idea is still the same and it's kind of fun. So let's just get started. Here is the original card that was brought to me, and it's done with designer series paper, and the fold opens like this. And this one has a little bit of reinforcement on the back, but ultimately I thought that this was too not staple enough with just the designer series paper as being this part. So I made my first prototype using old designer series paper. You might remember this paper. It's from several years ago now. And this one opens the other way, opens this way. And I reduced the size of this paper so that the ultimate size, this one was 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So this was the size of a full-size card. But in order to put it on a backing so that it looked right, I reduced it to a 4 by 5 1/4 and then put it on a card front that was in fact 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Ultimately, I just wanted to see what it would look like on this and make sure I got the measurements right, and this is what I came up with, and I think it's a really cute card. So that was my first prototype. Since then, one that we are going to make today, I'm going to show you, is this one. And this one opens like the first one did to this side, and I put a hello there. Just wanted to say thanks, and that, by the way, comes from the Around the Bend stamp set. I got this stamp set and die set out to start to work with it, and then remembered about this card, so this one I'll be doing here soon. But I just love this whole idea of this, but it had these two little sentiments, and I thought they worked perfectly on here. So I'm going to show you how to cut this from beginning to end. So this is what would normally be a full-size card. So let me grab my trimmer, and I am going to trim this to 4 1/4. Here, show you right from the beginning exactly what to do. 2 by 5 1/2. And it's good if this piece, that's already done. So it's good if this piece is thick whisper white, so you really have a good hard base. Then I'm going to show you how to cut the paper. You need a pretty good sized piece of paper, although you could do this, I suppose, with an 8 1/2 by 11, because how we're going to cut this is we're going to cut this to 6 1/2 inches to 7 3/4 inches. So 6 1/2 to 7 3/4. Now then, we have a piece that's this size. And you have pretty healthy leftovers here to make more cards and do more with. And we have our base that is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Now we're going to score this so that we end up with 4 inches. So I'm going to score this at 4 inches, 4 inches by 5 1/4. This is the pattern side that I want to show, and this will be the inside. So I'm going to go ahead and score this at 5 1/4, and there we've got our piece scored. Now that is all the scoring there is to do in that, and that is all the cutting. Now you do need a piece that is 3 3/4 by 5 for the inside, and you need a piece of white that is 2 1/4 by 2 1/4 square for this top piece here. And that's all the pieces that you need. So there you are. That is everything that you need. All right. Now we're going to burnish these lines here and here. And what that's going to do is create this little corner that's up here. Once you've got those folds burnished and you're happy with that, this little square is going to determine where your square is going to be on the card. So what we're going to do is take this edge of this fold and match it to this edge of this fold, and so we're going to reach this across like this, get that down, and then use your bone folder to crease the inside of that. So there we go, like that, and then crease the inside of that. And this needs to match up here perfectly right along that edge. And you want to make sure that that's in fact what happens. Okay, then we're going to do the same thing here, and we're going to take this edge and fold it along this edge. So here we go, folding it along that edge there, and using the bone folder then to increase or to burnish those score lines. And so we've got score lines on the inside that need burnishing. We have score lines back here that need burnishing. And we have these little score lines here that need burnishing. And the more you burnish these, the easier and the better your card will close. Okay, so there is the basics of our card. Now we're going to take our base here that is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and we're going to center this on here, and that's going to give us the real stability for this designer series paper. So I'm going to add my seal to the back of my card. And I'm going to set this here so that it's got a similar margin all the way around. And there we go. There is our little card on our card base, and you can see it's already starting to sit down, and that's exactly what we want. Now I'm going to take my piece that is 3 3/4 by 5, and that's going to give this some more stability, and we're going to put that on the inside of our card. And we'll set that on the inside of the card, and these two edges on this side are the ones that are going to show, so we want to make sure that those margins are just the way we want them. Okay, so there we go. Now we have our little piece here that is 2 1/4 by 2 1/4 square, pardon me. And I have my two stamps. This one says hello there, and my second stamp says just wanted to say thanks. And I did those in black on my sample card, and I thought on this one I would change it up and do it in Sweet Sorbet. I love this color, and this is one of the ones that's going to carry over, which is kind of fun. So my hello there, I want that good and juicy on here. And I want to put that right down here, sort of little under half, and sort of centered. And there's my hello there. Got a little tiny piece of edge there. I'm gonna see if I can't get that off of there. Okay, there we go. It's amazing how well a little sand eraser can work to get that off and save your project. Okay, so now I'm going to take Just Wanted to Say Thanks, and I purposely left stamping until now because I want to make sure I get this right where I want it, right down here. Get plenty of ink on there, and then put my Just Wanted to Say Thanks right down here. Now you can do your stamping certainly ahead of time, and you can figure out where it's going to be by dry fitting it. There we go. So there's my Just Wanted to Say Thanks and my hello there. Very good. All right. Now I did use my punch, that is this little punch with this paper and the country, I think it's Country Floral. I'll put it up on the screen if that's not right. And I have punched out some pieces here. So I have 2 big hearts, 2 little pink hearts, 3 little leaves someplace. Okay, there we go. I found all of my little leaves. And so now I have to just put this piece on and add my decorations. And I think it's a cute little card. It's certainly very different, and I really kind of like it. So the very first thing I did was to adhere this piece on the front of my card here. So I'm going to take this piece and center it on this piece. And there we go. And then I took one of these little hearts and I put it up on a dimensional or 2 and put that as a decoration right up here on the card. Then over here I added this heart, and again up on dimensionals, and that's going to go right in here. And then I put 2 of these leaves also up on dimensionals. Now then, because of the way this card closes, it has a tendency to want to pop open. So I did take this little heart and put it up on dimensionals. And I cut this leaf in half, so that I could add these leaves underneath this little heart. What I wanted to do is get this little heart right down here where it would catch that end and help keep this closed. And the more you use your bone folder and you burnish those edges, the better your card will stay closed. But that little detail there will definitely help. And on these 2 leaves, what I did was I just added a little bit of dot runner to the back of these and put them in place right underneath this heart, so they look like smaller leaves coming away from the heart. This card is pretty much done. Now I did have some iridescent rhinestones out on my desk, and I thought they went particularly well with the petal pink on this card. So I have added one here on the heart, one someplace here on the message, and then one more right down here next to this message. And there's still plenty of room on the inside to write what you want to write here without it showing through the outside of the card. Anyway, that is my project for the day. Thank you so much for stopping by my YouTube channel today. I do so appreciate it. And if you don't already have, oh, there was one more thing. If you don't already have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, well, I'd love to be your demonstrator. I added one more little heart on the inside just as a surprise. Okay, I would love to be your demonstrator, or you could join my team. It's always a good time to join Stampin' Up! $125 worth of product for $99 is a pretty good deal, and you start out with a 20% discount. If you're interested at all, give me a call, and we'll see how I can help you think through it. All right, let's see. There's a color refresh, a new catalog coming, all kinds of things going on with Stampin' Up! So stay tuned. In fact, I thought I might do, one of people in my downline does a video periodically that just says it's March and what's happening with Stampin' Up! And I think it sounds like such a good idea. I may just do one of those just so you get caught up on all the stuff that's going on. So that's it for me. My prize draw for the month is different things now. It's not just the shopping spree. It can be a stamp set, it can be a stamp and die bundle, it could be anything. And you get yourself in the drawing by making an order of any size on my store, lbedinger.stampinup.net. You can get to it through my blog, www.ingenuity.com. Thanks again for stopping by, and I'll be back soon with more cards, more projects, and more tips. Bye!